going on, everybody? Welcome in. It is Michigan week. We have finally made it to a football team that will be competitive against us after a drubbing of the last 2 weeks. I got a full preview coming up today. We got a lot to break down for the Michigan Wolverines. I'm going to go into a little bit of their all-22 footage, just showing a little bit of their offense. And I'm going to tell you straight away to dump the Oklahoma game out of your mind. If you're looking at the Oklahoma game for any kind of confidence in this week's game, I can tell you what they're going to be running offensively is not going to look anything remotely like they did against Oklahoma. So just pretend that game didn't exist. Don't look at that one. Central Michigan will be a game that we're going to look at to see what they're going to do offensively, a little bit defensively. But I think the biggest thing is seeing what our defense is going to do against that offense. So, Brian, how you doing today, man?
I am worried about this game, so that should tell you how I'm doing. I think it's going to be a tough one, a lot tougher than people are led to believe. For whatever reason, there is a weird confidence right now.
I am worried about this game as well. Not worried in the sense that I think we're going to lose, but I am worried. It's tough game. Bryce Underwood I don't think he's getting the respect he deserves because, again, I think people are – week one, I talked to you and I'm like, Bryce Underwood's a damn good quarterback, and people were saying he wasn't. And week two came, and he's still a damn good quarterback. I don't care how he played. And week three, he showed it, right? I'm going to get into the reason why he showed it week three versus week two, and why that's going to be scaring us coming this weekend, because there's some reasons why. Now, looking overall, first off, Nebraska, credit to them going out and handling business. You weren't here for the post game, but I held it down for us. But pretty straightforward to the point. 59-7, didn't quite drop 60. But coming into this game, Michigan comes in as a slight favorite. We are home dogs. So overall in the score prediction, do you feel the spread kind of fits your thoughts on this game?
No, I think Nebraska is their offensive line and their running game is way better than what I think our defensive line and our rush defense is. I think Michigan probably takes this game with relative ease, if I'm being honest.
I think we're closer than you think. So we may disagree there. I don't think.
Yeah, I hope I'm the Debbie Downer of this right now.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's nice that we disagree for once. But Michigan is tough in essence. And one of the biggest things that is going to happen this week that didn't happen against Oklahoma. So what it looks to me like against Oklahoma, I think they wanted to really take the air out of that game against Oklahoma. I really do. I think they want to take the air out of that game against Oklahoma. I think they really wanted to make sure that they tried to limit the possessions as much as possible. They didn't really give Bryce Underwood much of a leash, if you will. I don't know if that was, whose call that was by design. I don't really know who made that decision, whether that be with Sharon Moore, whether that be with Chip Lindsey. But Chip Lindsey, from what I saw in the press conference, he's given Bryce Bryce has a green light now. And early on in the year, that wasn't the case. Again, they if we can't looking at the Oklahoma game, they came out against Oklahoma and they ran 11 zone runs and 18 gap runs, 1 scramble. So again, they were trying to come out and just kind of I think just kind of run the air out of the ball a little bit, if you will. Coming against Central Michigan, they had 20 zone runs and 23 gap runs. So they went a little bit more of the zone scheme, which is a little bit more favorable for that scrambling type of quarterback. And I'm going to show it to you a little bit on the film. Just kind of, we're going to see a lot of those RPO looks. Kind of a lot of what I saw against Cincinnati, where they're going to be just disguising the blocking as if it's going to be a run. Everything's going to kind of look the same, and then they're going to be bringing RPOs off of that. And not only, they're going to have routes accessible everywhere on the field. We're talking 4 or 5 routes out there, special leak out routes. This defense is going to have to be extremely, extremely disciplined and staying home and staying in their responsibility and doing their job. I'll let you go ahead and take it off at that point, and then we'll go into a little bit more.
Yeah, my biggest concern is this defensive line, and I go back to the Cincinnati game, which I know was week 1, but I just haven't seen a ton of improvement. Even last week, I mean, you gave up 85 rushing yards to that one running back. Granted, half those was on a 45-yard touchdown run.
That was bottled up.
Where he where we bottled them up and then he busted it the other way. Teams are averaging over like 3.5, I think maybe over 4 yards per carry on first down against Nebraska. Houston Christian, more athletic than Akron. But the interior defensive line, I go back, I rewatched the Cincinnati game, and there was times where Nebraska started to adjust, where they would start stunting more or they would slant more. And I saw a play in which Elijah Judy was pushed back 20 yards, literally 20 yards from the 19 to the 41-yard line is where he eventually was put to the ground. And he was driven by a single lineman the whole way. The interior defensive line is a huge problem going into this game. And I think Michigan is just going to hammer it home. We're too small up front. Our average weight is probably 280, 285 between our two defensive tackle spots. Their interior offensive line is like 330 plus across the board. It's a huge concern.
I will caution you, it's not the same Michigan line as it was before, too, and they have moving parts. So they're still trying to figure that line out, too. I think Jake Guarnera, they're just got to start there because they were down a lineman. So they're kind of figuring out their line as they go too. So it's not this bully you in the trenches Michigan team that we normally get. Their D line has issues too. They're worried about their D line too. They're worried about their offensive line in some ways too. I mean, in comparison to normal Michigan offensive lines. But again, like what Nebraska is going to have, what Nebraska can do differently that they didn't do against Cincinnati. Again, getting blown 20 yards off the ball wasn't necessarily the issue against Cincinnati. It's just you got to be more aggressive. You got to get downhill quicker. You cannot sit here and just try to be like, okay, Bryce, he might throw. Let me just sit back and just kind of laterally scan. You got to be able to step up and fill those gaps and get in there and get in the box and force him to beat you. I think the biggest thing that's going to come down to this game is how the intermediate part of the field plays out. Because what they did last week that they didn't do the week prior before they were kind of taking some shit, but they were a little bit more over the middle of the field. I think I got the PFF numbers here, but for them, they had 6.3 yards per attempt in that medium range, that 10 to 19 yard range with 25% completion percentage. And in the Central Michigan game, that was against Oklahoma. In the Central Michigan game, they had 9.8 yards per attempt, 46% completion percentage, and utilized that part of the field a lot more. And they brought the deep passes back down from 16.4 yards per attempt to 13.6. So kind of bringing that down, but they were a higher percentage in that intermediate area. So kind of that medium to short yardage range is going to be where the game is won and lost. And if Nebraska can, like I said, stay in their responsibilities and really not fall into that play action, the RPO, I think they'll have a lot of success. Can you back out, come back in?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you have it happen? And if y'all are in here, drop your score predictions in the comments. I've seen a couple of y'all doing it already, and we'll dive into your comments here in just a little bit as well. So keep dropping your score predictions in there, and we'll go through those as we go along. So, all right, we got him back in here. Cool. All right, cool. No echo. So we're good to go on that. Okay. And then, so looking offensively, they're going to be kind of, again, doing a lot of those riding the mesh points, but they're also going to be moving the pocket a lot. So they're going to be riding, not only are they going to be doing that RPO mesh, but they're going to be blocking left, having Bryce roll right, and there you're going to throw, sometimes they'll have a route up the seam. So even in our deep level, they're going to be smart with this. I think now that Chip Lindsey's given him the full green light, I think that's going to give him the ability to create a lot more. And that's why I'm saying just throw the Oklahoma game out, because he didn't have that ability in that game.
Where I like Nebraska's defense in this game is the secondary versus the Michigan wide receiver core. I don't think they have a very good wide receiver core. But I also don't think this is a game where you can put 8 guys in the box and just force them to throw it, because of what you just mentioned. They're going to do a lot of play action rollouts and have an easy target, in the flat, or maybe like you said, up the seam. And that will be hard to cover if you're basically 7-8 guys in the box the entire game, because then you're more than likely in main coverage. But I do like in this situation, if you can make it so Michigan has to throw more than they want to, which I think they're going to try and throw it, 15, 16, 17, 18 times, very limited. But if you can get them out of that and airing it out a little bit more, it sets you up for a lot more success. Our defensive backs are playing at an elite level right now, I think.
Correct. Let me pull up a little bit of this for y'all, give you just some clips of what you're probably going to see. And hold on one second. Let me move that for just a quick second. Make sure I got all my clips there. Cool. All right. So actually, how do I make this to where y'all can't see? I don't want y'all to see my Google Drive and see the name of the person that shares these with me. All right. Oops. All right. So I'm just going to play a few clips of their first drive here. And it's not going to be too terribly much, but I'm just going to kind of show you in essence what I'm talking about. So initially off rip here, we'll let it run. If it'll play. Well, why is nothing wanting to play now? Okay, well, it seems to be frozen in time. Hold on one second. All right, let me figure out what's going on with this and why it won't play. Okay, for some reason, when I full screen it, it doesn't want to play. Let's try it again. There we go. All right. Maybe not.
Technology and stuff.
Dude, what is going on? It just all of a sudden doesn't want to... Now it'll play. Okay, so when it's not full screen, whatever, we'll just let it run. I don't care if you'll see it. All right, so we're seeing the motion coming across. So we're going to see a lot of motions, but I want you to watch his blocking. They're going to be blocking left, right. So we're going to see this pass out. Okay, so watch the blocking, though. This is what I want to break it down in the layman for y'all. I want y'all to pay attention.
Motion guy was the lead blocker there, too.
Right, and I want y'all to pay attention to the blocking on each play, even though, see, that was a pass outside. Now you got him right here, right, waiting for that pass, but they're going to do the handoff in the middle, and you're going to see him coming to the inside. Now, everything kind of, again, mirrors look similar. I think this might be the run. No, this ain't it. But watching from this area right here, so you kind of see how those lanes form, right? So the key right here is going to be able to stack this box and just fill up these cutback lanes as much as possible, because Justice Haynes is going to be looking for as many cutback lanes as he possibly can. So trying to fill those voids in right there, that was more of a run. Let's let it run a little bit more. Play this one for you here. Okay. Now we got the motion man coming across. Now there's a wrinkle they're going to throw in here in a second. So again, you see the blocking setting up. Now pay attention to how the blocking sets up on each play, because they're going to disguise some of their runs as some of their passes as blocking for some of these runs. And you see right up here, right? You see that man kind of coming free over there for the RPO, right? Hands it off to that outside. There's one thing for instance here, I think this is where Justice Haynes has an actual cutback lane that he misses. So we need some of this right here. Yeah, we need some of that right here. We need some of this vision throughout the game right here. So if he's missing stuff like this, he tries to bounce it outside and he's able to get any yards out of it. So coming up here a little further, let me see, where is and then this is, I think, the pass down the field that they try to run off of it. Okay, so there's the run. So let me go up a little bit more. They try to do this pass down the field, and this is what we're going to need to be looking for in our secondary. And this is kind of what I get to, just them disguising certain things. I think it's 5 right here. I think it's disguising certain things with these runs, and then so here's where he starts moving the pocket. So you see a motion right here. You see the inside give on that mesh point, and then you see him ride the pocket right. But you see a couple routes slipping out here. Now there's a route earlier where they run about 4 hitches across the field, and that's about it. And they sneak a little running back into the flat here. Now this one right here, you got a couple of these flat routes coming out, and then you're going to run a couple little hitches. You got a hitch up here, and then you have this guy running up the seam. And this is where I'm talking about, where we have to stay home, where our defense has to be smart, because this is a sneaky little play right here that they can run. If you're not expecting him to be able to beat you over the top, and you kind of let your defense draw down a little bit, too complacent coming down to the box, then all of a sudden he's able to float that over the top. You know what I'm saying? So that's where Nebraska has to be really, really sound in their defensive structure. And they have to really make sure that every single person knows their job and is doing their job effectively. that is that we can beat this team. If that the problem against Cincinnati was just the fact that they punished our lack of aggression and they punish us moving laterally. That's what that zone blocking does. So if we continue to just sit there and we shuffle laterally and we don't come down and fill these gaps and fill the holes and we allow these cutback lanes to open up, they're going to feast on us, and it will be a long day, like you said. But I think since we had the Cincinnati film, I think that is the key in this game that's going to make them be able to trigger downhill a lot more effectively. And I think they got a lot of it on film now with a mobile quarterback in Cincinnati as well. How to effectively do that with still keeping your contains without opening too much of a lane to get them to escape. And so I think it's going to be an uphill battle. I don't think we're going to stop them by any stretch, but I think we can slow them enough to win this game.
Now, is Sorsby a better quarterback than Underwood, in your opinion? Just curious. I think he's probably not as good of a thrower.
It's not
a better runner.
It's not a better quarterback. He's a more experienced quarterback. I think he's going to make. I think Sorsby is a quarterback that's going to have less chance of making a big mistake. I think Bryce Underwood has a higher ceiling, but also a lower floor. I think Sorsby's more, kind of in this where Bryce Underwood's, he could probably throw for 300 or he could throw for 3 interceptions. That's the difference between the two.
I remember I was watching some of the film that Coach Rose Ivy put out, and he showed a clip where he was talking about the same thing, like staying home, knowing your assignments. And it was like the first play of the game, and he almost threw an interception. It was because he didn't read the coverage. This is where Nebraska is going to get a little wonky, I think, this week. I think they're going to do a lot of unique coverages to make this as complicated as possible. Think back to John Butler's quote 2 weeks ago where he said it was at some point where it was like Sorsby didn't know what coverage we were running and then just decided to stop throwing the ball. They're going to try and do that same thing to Underwood. While, yes, incredibly talented, just like Dillon, 5-star, number 1 overall quarterback or whatever, you're going to have these ebbs and flows, and the college game is completely different than the high school game. Nebraska has to make the coverages more complex than they had the last 2 weeks, obviously, because they're playing a bunch of nobodies. So that's where I think Nebraska is going to get a little different this week. I think they kept it very vanilla. They didn't want to put a bunch of stuff on tape. And then also, too, with the pass rush aggressiveness or lack thereof, I guess you've seen that at least start to come out a little bit over the last couple of weeks. You saw a big sack from Marcus Watson-Trent. They saw McCullough as well. This is a week where they need to completely wreak havoc for Nebraska.
Yeah, and another thing to note, too, is Michigan's wide receivers haven't really established themselves. There's not a clear star on that receiver core right now. They have McCulley, Samaj, Marsh, Goodwin, and those guys have been plagued with drops this year. They've been dropping a lot of passes. And so they really haven't had anybody step up. So I do think there's an opportunity there for Nebraska to be able to kind of have some opportunities there with these receivers if they can maybe come and jar a ball loose because they're having trouble with the confidence in the drops anyway. So I think it's one of those things that Nebraska is really going to have to be aggressive in hitting into. And also Bryce Underwood, they're having a hard time getting him to slide. A really hard time getting him to slide. And their offensive coordinator talked today about how I think it was today or either today or yesterday about how he's a football player and they're like, he's going to finish his runs. So Bryce is not looking to slide. So we need to be punching and ripping at that ball. Ripping at it,
and punishing him every time.
If he's not going to get down, there's one thing that you look at Harburg when he ran the ball in 2023. The more hits he took, the less confident he had to run. Less confidence he had in just hitting the hole hard and running full. So if you make Bryce Underwood feel some hits a little bit, he's going to be rethinking. He's going to at least be considering getting down at that point. And another thing too is just making sure that kind of like you were talking about with the pre-snap reads and just confusing him, rolling coverages, right? Make him think there's something pre-snap, because what the thing is, they're getting the ball out of his hands quickly, right? These RPOs and these quick little, inside handoff, zone read, those type of plays, they happen fast, right? And so he doesn't have a lot of time to really, think, okay, oh wait, now that defender's stepping down, I'm not going to throw this. No, he's like here and he's throwing in rhythm, right? So if they can confuse him and get some of those timing rhythm throws off and be able to step down and maybe jump a route or two, all it takes, I don't care whether it's the running, I don't care whether it's the passing. If you get an 18-year-old quarterback to think, you are going to win the game. That is what Dylan Raiola did a lot last year when he started getting pressure, when he started taking hits as he started thinking. You get this 18-year-old thinking he's going to be doing less reacting. He's going to be late. And when you're late, you're probably going to get some routes jumped. You're probably going to have some turnovers. And it's not going to be a very good day offensively. And so for Nebraska, it's just a matter of disrupting the timing and making him feel 18 years old.
There's a few things that are a little wrinkles that they do with John Butler's defense versus Tony White that I noticed over the last couple of weeks. And they did it like a handful of times. I think it was probably just to get that rep through so that they're prepping for Michigan. And there was a couple times where they had Andrew Marshall in the box as like a linebacker almost essentially. And then I think Sayer Wright last week and him were basically linebackers in the formation, but they had, I think it was Dasan McCullough and there was one other linebacker, and those two looked like they were pressuring, and then they dropped back into coverage. And then on the opposite side was Andrew Marshall and Sayer Wright, and those are who came on the pressure. I think those were just little hints at what you're going to see a lot of potentially on Saturday, where they're just, it's a complete mix-up of who you think's coming is not coming, and who you think's a corner is now a linebacker, and that linebacker's in coverage. It's going to be interesting to see the chess match between offense and defense.
For sure. And I think the biggest thing that does, give me confidence is we got an NFL defensive coordinator going against an 18-year-old quarterback. And so right there you have somebody who knows how to kind of disrupt things. And I think one of the biggest things too is, looking at if we flip it over too and we look at, Michigan's defense versus our offense, Michigan hasn't really been getting a pass rush or anything like that either. We talk about our not getting sacks. Like we talk about us, not getting a ton of sacks week one. Of course, it's against a mobile quarterback. Yeah. But so we're probably not going to get a lot of sacks in this week. But it's about containing. But the thing about it is their defense doesn't get a lot of pressure either. Their defense doesn't get a lot of sacks either. So Dylan's going to have some time to throw back there too. And we've seen what he can do with time in the pocket. Like Dylan Raiola has been, he's been so good that people think TJ Lateef is better. Like he's been boringly good.
Yeah,
Dylan Raiola's been boringly good because he's just completing everything, and so we're just getting down the field, just nickel and diming our way down the field, and you get TJ Lateef throwing a 50-yard bomb over top. It's like, oh, TJ is exciting. Well, it's like, no, Dylan's just making it look so easy that is boring. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I think he's a little underappreciated, not only, some with Nebraska fan base, but not on a large scale, but more so in the broad landscape of college football where they go, man, he was, 17 of 22 and, 210 yards and a couple touchdowns. Like he's averaging only 6 yards of completion. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. And that's exactly what he's supposed to do. Like no one bats an eye when, Josh Allen goes, 17 for 22 for 128 yards because he just nickel and dime the shit out of your team for 4 quarters. You know what I mean? It's the offense. It's the way the game unfolded. Then there's going to be a game like 2 weeks ago where he has 340 yards passing on 20 completions. But generally speaking, this kid is an NFL quarterback playing in an NFL system. That's how it's done.
Yep. He's doing what he needs to do. And let's just dive into some of the comments here. We'll get into these. Go Big Red. What's going on, Justin? Appreciate you hopping in here, sir. This Saturday is the turning point of our program. I believe so. I have a lot more confidence in Brian.
Gosh, I hope so.
But it's okay. We're not here to just predict wins every week. Meat Chicken Week. That is one way to put it. I have returned. What's going on, Mike? Appreciate you hopping in here. 24-20 Bonelead's prediction. Mike's 24-21. Michael Hasman's the last Saturday was perfect with Bud capping things off. Time to get the monkey off their back versus. Shout out to Bud, by the way. Can I just say I was wrong? And I'm so happy I was wrong. Because what Bud did was incredible. Canelo was frustrated. I mean, Bud, I don't think a lot of people understand just how good that performance was by Bud Crawford. Like, that was an incredible like boxing masterclass he put on. Disrupted Canelo's timing constantly, disrupted his rhythm. Anytime Canelo would get, because Canelo's whole goal is to walk you down, and he's trying to get you in a range to where you have to escape. If you have to escape, he's swinging those hooks at you, right? And he throws them babies hard. And then once he starts throwing those hooks and you're afraid to escape, then he's got you kind of cornered in, and then he just unloads, right? But I mean, Bud just kept it. He would load up. Canelo would load up on a 1-2, and Bud would just slip and throw like 1, 2, 3, 4, like quick 4 shots, and then be gone. And then as Canelo turns around, he's gone. He pops him with a couple more, and by the time Canelo resets and is set up and is ready to walk him back down again, that's the fighting style. I have a similar fighting style of Canelo. That's my kryptonite too. Guys who just throw punches and bunches, and kind of, before I have a chance to turn and see where they're at, boom, boom, you get hit with a couple shots and you got to reset again. So shout out to Bud, man. That was an incredible performance. And then afterwards, of course, Bud being respectful as always, giving his belt back to him. So yeah, impressive.
Also, Coach Rule coached a football game, flew to Vegas, watched the fight.
That's crazy.
And then flew back the same day. That dude, how old is he now? Like what, 50?
I sometimes wonder.
He's than me, and I'm 32.
I wonder if we have the same amount of weeks, like hours in the day in the week, me and him.
Yeah.
Because I don't know
It's
how
crazy.
he does it, bro. Because sometimes I feel like I'm running out of time in my week, and this man's got like 18 million more things on his plate than I do.
Yeah.
Some people are just built different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's
time management.
That's why he's the head football coach at the University of Nebraska, and I'm here. I think Nebraska wins it in the last minute on a field goal. Mike, I really hope it doesn't come down to the last minute on a field. I don't want that stress in my life. I just had to deal with the Texans losing yesterday on the last second touchdown, which wouldn't have mattered. If we won that game yesterday, we're terrible regardless. That team's not good. We're talented. We're talented. We're a very talented team. We're not a good team. That's been Nebraska the last decade. We're talented, not good. That's the Texans for you. Just Brian for you. Would Nebraska be better off putting our linebackers and safeties in the box and forcing Bryce to beat our secondary? Just Brian.
As just me?
It just says just Brian.
I would put the Sean Singleton in the box because he's more athletic, and if like a tight end spills out, he can go get the tight end. Mm-hmm. But I like I was saying at the start, like I think Nebraska's corners and secondary are matched up way better on Michigan's receivers than like our defensive line versus their offensive line. We have a huge advantage in our secondary. So, but you also can't go man the whole game either. Like you have to do different.
I think you might. I don't know. You might be too in love with their O-line, or just hate our D-line too much.
I just don't like our interior D-line right now, if I'm being honest. I saw Elijah Judy get blown back 20 yards on a clip, and I was like, whoa, okay.
That's why you got to watch more than just one clip, damn it. 27-24, the 40-yard field goal for the win. Yeah. 24-7 first half NU, 27-21 final. Man, that would be fun, but not fun. That would be terrifying. Oh my God, they found Brian's stuff. They did.
And they broke it, but whatever.
They found it. So where did they find it? Somewhere in Kansas?
Yeah, and then they broke part of my computer, but it still operates.
What did they
broke
break?
3 of our 4 beds.
What?
Yeah, they broke 3 of the 4 beds.
It's a horrible percentage.
5. Sorry, 4 beds.
You broke 75. They broke 75% of your beds.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But yeah, my computer, they broke. There's a front plate on it that has access to the whole like housing of it.
Yeah.
That's broken. The leg broke off. Yeah, I mean, we haven't unpacked, but I'm doing a huge claim when I'm done. I'm not trying to pay for what I ended up paying.
I feel like when I was moving, I looked into the moving companies, and like, it's never good. But like sometimes you ain't got no damn choice. Like me, when I moved from Texas to here, I was in a small apartment. I pulled a little U-Haul trailer behind my F-150, but it's a little different when you got a whole house and kids and stuff. So
it would have been easier if I did that shit.
No. We damn well better put a spy on Underwood early if we don't load the box. We're going to be loading the box first. We're not going to be putting a spy on. We don't want to utilize that extra body first. Jacory is due to break. What happened?
I would say I would let them run him
100%.
because then the more hits he gets, the more he's going to wear down.
Yeah, and that means if they're running and that means your coverage is staying home. Well, scrambles. That means your coverage is staying home. I want a disruptive defense. Yeah, we all do. Well, Nebraska 31, Michigan 27. William says 27-20, go Big Red. David, one thing's for sure, we'll see our punter this weekend. Yes, we will. That is for damn sure. Finally. Have we given up our 100 pass yards in a game? No, we have not. We haven't given up over 70.
It's pretty incredible. I don't care who you're playing, if we're being honest here.
I think the most we've given up was what, 67, 68?
It was in Cincinnati.
But that was like 68, 69, 85 yards a game. I think it's less than that, Michael. Maybe just 65. Yeah. I see Lenhart has a cast on his hand.
He had surgery last week, but he's fine.
You can play with a cast on your hand. They just turn
Actually, you can use it as a weapon.
They turn it into a club, dude. Straight up. Jason Pierre-Paul style. Nebraska's played so many players that it's been hard to get a true read on the defense, in my opinion. The run defense needs work. We'll find out how much comes Saturday. See, this is another thing, too. It's just like run defense. And this is where I think this is run defense, in essence, is not a problem. It's the zone blocking scheme that tore us up, right? And we did a better job against the Houston Christian. Of course, it's Houston Christian, but we can't just we just got to stop saying the run defense needs work. Like, again, we have an opportunity here to see if we can remedy. This is why this game is even more important too for me, is because it gives us an opportunity to see how quickly we can fix the things that are on tape. You know, we're sitting here saying, okay, like the talent's the same, right? What is coaching going to do? And I think right now everybody seems so shell-shocked that it seems like everybody right now feels like we can't figure things out through coaching. Like the team can't get better in watching the film. It's like, this is why Cincinnati week 1 was so important, because it showed us what to improve on the film, and that is the best opportunity we should have. So I feel like if we came out and we beat up 3 cupcakes, we'd be feeling much better about this game. But since we had a tough opponent that had a zone blocking scheme that used it well against us, which is a good thing, it's turning into this bad thing. And it's a good thing that it was against us. It's a good thing that we got to struggle against. It's not a good thing we struggled against it, but it's a good thing that we played against it and got an opportunity to see.
It's a primer for this weekend. 100%. And you'll see a lot of it too outside of Michigan. I mean, they're not the only team that does this, that we play.
Correct.
Hell, Minnesota is phenomenal at it.
Yes. Minnesota lost last week too. Good. That was a they lost to it was during the Bud game. That's why I forgot.
I have to look, but it wasn't a good loss.
No, it wasn't. Is Michigan head coach suspended for our game? Yes. And
he's suspended from all activities too.
However, Chip Lindsey's running that offense no matter what. It wasn't Sharon Moore's offense. So the game plan isn't going to be too terribly.
They got beat by Cal.
Too terribly. Yeah, Cal, that's what it was. Should Moore be starting? Moore.
Gabe Moore? That's what I think. Gabe Moore.
I don't know why Sharon Moore popped in my head, because I just talked about him, but I was like, Moore.
I don't think so.
Yes, he is. Cannot be around the team at all for the next 2 weeks if Michigan abides by the rules, that is. How about playing straight up defense and not blitz? We're going to have to bring some blitzes. We're going to have to.
You got to bring pressure.
We're going to have to blitz. Fact of the matter is, you're going to have to be smart with it too, because it's going to be disguised, and we're going to have to. The whole trick is to. I mean, we would love to play straight up defense and not blitz, but you have to. And the thing about it is, though, those blitzes are going to set up our straight up defense to be able to potentially get opportunities, because by the blitzes, you want to get under pressure. Bryce Underwood did not look good week 2. Under pressure, was a little bit better week 3, but it was getting the ball out of his hands quicker. So we are going to blitz, and we are going to try to just light a hair under his butt and try to get him, like, at least his feet move around in that pocket. You know, get him a little jumpy in that pocket so he can make some mistakes. So we're going to be bringing some blitzes. He's 18 years old.
Yep, that's what I was getting ready to say. In fact, I'll add too, I think Nebraska is going to blitz early and often, speed up that internal clock, and then you can probably start sending only 4, maybe a 5th guy from occasion, but they're going to try and speed up that internal clock quickly for him.
Because, you know, Oklahoma defensively, they ran a lot of twists, they ran a lot of stunts, and it worked. Again, it was a little like just looking at that game, you could throw the whole game, but it's just looking at what their defense did. They did run a lot of blitzes, a lot of stunts. So, and I think Nebraska is it's going to be a blitz. It's going to be a measured, calculated blitzing style again, because at the same time too, you got to understand that if you're blitzing a corner, which we've done a lot more this year, they're going to be trying to throw where you're not. So it's then rotating a guy quickly over. Like those rotations are going to have to be quick. But, if they blitz correctly and blitz effectively, like you said, early and often, then they can kind of bring that back. And then, if you get, it's all about how you set the tone. Indiana against us last year, they beat the brakes off of us. Why? Because set the tone because they started running the ball. Curtis Rourke was already hard to stop in the passing game. But what happens, they came out immediately and they ran the ball down our throats with success. And we were on our heels the rest of the game. Nebraska can come out early and get Bryce Underwood on his heels and make him think. Then later on in the game, while he's thinking, you start to show some of those blitzes that you did earlier in the game. You drop back into coverage, and then all of a sudden. But I do think I'm glad at least, Brian, you're giving him some respect, because I feel like not enough people are giving Michigan or Bryce Underwood enough respect. Michigan's licking their chops, thinking they'll have a way with our D, but I guarantee the coaches have our boys ready. That I believe in our coaching staff. They will have
That's the Mike guarantee.
They will have this team. Oh, wait. Will win it for us. I don't know. I like how he says, I guarantee the coaches have our boys ready will win the game for us. I don't know. I don't. Maybe he didn't mean to put that. All right, we're gonna go with his Mike guarantee. Crawford better walk the team out as well. I
think the 95 team is walking them out.
I've seen the anniversary multiple places, but I'm not sure how true it is. With Bud, I haven't seen anything confirmed on it. Just some speculation. Eyeballs GBR. That's right, Matt R. I appreciate you, Matt Rule, hopping in here. I wish that was Matt Rule. That'd be pretty sick.
That'd be nice.
That'd be awesome. I would be like starstruck. And I don't get starstruck, but I'd be like, that's pretty cool. Meat Chicken Week. Knock his helmet out. Thanks, Mike. It's a good thing. It's how he gets his guys going in a hostile environment. I think that's the biggest thing this year, though. It's just the staff. I trust the staff, and that gives me a little bit more quiet confidence. And that's why I can look at the film, and if I can identify some of the things and if I can identify them, I know John Butler's going to have his team ready to rock and roll.
We talked about that today too.
Has Underwood played in front of 90K before? He played in front of 100K in Michigan.
Yeah,
plays at Michigan.
And Oklahoma
on the road. Does Oklahoma? Yeah, they do. They do hold upwards. They do.
I think theirs is
80,000, 80, 85, something like that. Yeah. So he's played against a tough environment. It'll be crucial to get in 2nd and 10 or 3rd and 6 and plus. Yes, keeping them, because naturally keeping them behind the sticks in long situations, make Bryce Underwood throw the ball a little bit further down the field. You're going to get an opportunity to jump some routes for sure. Because we saw it with, we even still see it occasionally with Dylan. You get some pressure in the face, they may loft one of those balls up. Corn Heart, Matt R. Appreciate you. Let's see. If they have to pass to beat Nebraska, it goes in Nebraska's favor. I frankly think if Nebraska plays a clean game, they will win. 100% agree. Don't need sacks, just TFLs.
Take everything.
76%. What was that? What was that in regards?
That's Dylan's completion percentage so far.
Incredible. And that's with
drops. Which is crazy. It dropped.
It's with drops.
Yeah.
Let's hope we get halfway decent officials and not bozos. Clear of zero idea they're even watching a football game. Good luck with that. I feel like most officials
this is Big Ten officiating.
Game manager Raiola. I love it. I love it. Hey, doing his job. Good luck with playing Michigan. Nebraska has to take them out of the equation. Yeah, that seems like a threat, but I'm down. Let's take Michigan out of the equation. That's right, Michael. Bud gave Canelo a beating. I called it. Mike, shout out to. Well, I mean, you're a little biased, Mike. Like, let's. Of course you were going to say that, dude. That smile after a hit. Yeah, buddy. With his Husker mouthpiece. Once I saw it smile in the 5th, I knew he had it. I would go that crazy. Canelo was always dangerous. That wasn't till that clock hit 0.
62-2 in his career.
Bud had to be locked on for 12 rounds, and even he knew that. He knew if he got caught, It was rough. The second fight of the night, well, yes. And then shout out to my boy Callum, my Irish brethren, for going out there and beating Fernando Vargas Jr. So it was good for him to get out there. And I'm going for a big W, 45-20, go big red. Matt, I'm glad you listen. Might as well be Matt.
Who's Matt?
We're gonna call you
because
Matt
I need some of his positivity to influence.
I got
me.
it. It's all over here. I'm with it. I'm right with Matt R here. Sorry, that was supposed to say Justin and Brian. Oh, it's all good. I made Brian answer it. We owe them an embarrassment like they did us. We owe them we owe them a last second win. Did you get your money back? Plus, I hope. Brian, did you get your money back?
So far, I got $100 per day that they were late, and I haven't submitted my claim yet because there's so much shit that fucked up.
Yeah.
I had to buy my daughter a whole new bed.
We'll talk about the offense here in a second too, because can we give some love to Lindenmeyer first off?
Tough day, but overall he's been playing great.
I just want to give him a little bit more love. Just shout out to Lindenmeyer, man, because I think he's going to be a huge part of this game. I think he's going to be a key success. Cog of this game, and I think he's going to have a big day. I think he's going to step up.
Whatever his over under on catches is, you should take the over.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be
probably like 3, and I would imagine it's like 2.5, 3.5. I have a feeling Michigan will lead the entire game. Michigan wins 30-10. Brandon, I appreciate. Well, if it's Brand, appreciate you hopping in here, man. 38-10. I hope you're wrong. God, I hope you're wrong. But I appreciate you hopping in here, man, and leaving a comment. Thank you. Husker volleyball coming on in about 2 minutes. Yes, sir. We need to have a QB spy on him. Put Shavers as a spy. No, we don't need Shavers tied up as a spy.
No, we want him to run the ball because then you can lay his ass the fuck out. Sorry, I'm cussing a lot today.
No, but we want Shavers. Let Shavers do his thing, man. Let Shavers, like, if you put a spy on him and he ends up a free dog, we've seen how that works out. But just put Shavers out there and let him move around that field. Read faster.
That's what your rubber's for.
Matt, I'm trying. I got a high school education, and I'm from Texas. Lindenmeyer seems to be a crucial part of the offense. Who's important in this game? Well, Bone-Like Corn-Fed coming out with yes. Right on cue, right as Lyndon Kittle. I like that. I love that. It fits the San Francisco 49ers style of offense that they want to run. You know, Matt Rule wanted to run since he got here. So, but that, I mean, honestly, Kittle, I've said this, time and time again, Kelsey is the best had been the best receiving tight end, but Kittle was the best all around tight end. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. Kittle can do everything. And that's what
I hate that he played for Iowa.
I do too.
Because he's such a likable human.
He's a funny
damn good tight end.
He's a funny guy. Yeah, I like him too. I like him. I do like that Lyndon Kittle. Cincinnati has not lost since playing us. Then not only that, they beat the team that Minnesota beat 66-0 week 1. They beat them 70-0. I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, and Sorsby had like 400 yards passing.
Yes. I think
they're better.
He had the highest PFF grade of any quarterback, I think, last week.
Wow.
Yeah, 70-0. Yep.
Good.
3 NFL. That Corleone, man. I think Cincinnati. I think Cincy wins 7 or 8. Nebraska wins 9 or 10. I'm right there with the 9 or 10. My prediction was, I had one prediction for 8, then it went to 9. I had one glass half full prediction at 10 over on Generation Red, but 9 was my final prediction. But I do think Cincinnati's good enough to win 7, 8 games. Absolutely. 100%.
They might win the Big 12.
Yes, that's not saying much, but yes, they're a good team, man. Random various blitzes. Yep, that's one way to put it. So they don't just use blitzes against us. Let's see, Rashawn, appreciate you hopping in here, man. Great day. What's going on, Jackson? Appreciate you hopping in here. What's Cincinnati ranked 60ish? Good question. Beats the hell out of me.
You know what? Notre Dame's ranked 24th right now.
Rankings don't mean anything. Yeah, miss me with the rankings.
But they lost 2 ranked games. Yeah, they lost. Who gives a shit?
I'll care about the rankings in about week 6. Then we'll start talking. As much as we love the 95 Huskers, I don't think they would fire players like Bud would.
100%.
I'd have to agree. Canelo's not only dangerous, but a real class act. That dude is a true sportsman through and through. That's why it's hard to not be a fan of Canelo. If you're a fan of boxing, you got to be a fan of Canelo. We're going to hang 45 on Michigan. I know we are. LL. What's that mean? I need you to decode, Matt R.
Lots of love.
Lots of love. Hey, appreciate you, Matt R. Appreciate you hopping in here, Mr. Matt Rule. Mr.
Coach Rule, thank you.
Yeah, Coach Rule. We're just gonna pretend it is him.
He's Coach Rule now.
Yeah. Any idea? Hey, Coach Rule, if you want to come on the show, please reach out. Please. Any idea why coaches held Mackay out? He had been progressing, it seemed. I'm not going to say they held him out. I don't know if Rashawn wants to elaborate on that at all, but I'm not 100% sure what was up with the snaps there. So, did you buy a cool bed? Is she stoked? It gets a little expensive, but one of the best parts of having little fellas is to let them decorate their rooms.
We bought a new bed for my other daughter because they broke that when we were leaving Kansas City. And we had it shipped to our house in Texas, and then it came as the wrong size. So we gave that one to our other daughter and then ordered another one for our other daughter. Dude, when I say it's been a disaster, guys, it's been a disaster, an unmitigated disaster. So I don't want to say any names of the company, but Mayflower Moving, it's been awful. So yeah, I'm glad it's done.
Don't want to say their number, but Mayflower Moving Company LLC 281. I'm sorry. Craig, we were not being serious. I mean, literally, you can't even make a joke, and then Craig's like, crack. You're on.
Isn't Craig the one that was mad at us on the Friday call-in show about thinking we had a decent O-line?
Craig just sounds like a guy, like just my one of my mom's exes was named Craig, and he was just an angry guy. So it might just be a Craig thing. You know, it happens. It's just Craig's. That's Craig's for you. Let's see. Luke Lindenkittle's LL, double L.
Okay.
That's it. Double L. Field day for Michigan. They will laugh at how easy it is to run against them. Fans get a crucial penalty against Michigan at a crucial time, costing them a potential score. The fans. That's a new one. Hey, Bonelet, don't start making new ways to lose games now. One of the way we haven't lost it is the fans. That's the last thing we need.
Well, now we get beer in the stadium. You never know.
Brian, are you feeling poor? Is what Pit Snipe wants to know. The real questions.
Am I feeling poor?
I guess.
I don't know. I'm in a
broke,
for lack of a better term, a big, beautiful house. I don't feel too poor.
Well, do you feel poor?
I haven't had any income for a fucking month, though. I'll tell you that much.
Do you feel rich enough to be able to give us your breakdown of how the game will go and a score prediction?
I will give you, I think, okay. Score prediction.
We do have an answer here.
Okay.
So Sean said it was to see what we had if Quentin got into a rrhythm, pretty much have to get our big guys reps. 100% agree too, because
that's what I kind of figured it was. And then Coach Rule alluded that he got hurt in the spring too.
Yeah, he was banged up coming into the season, so he didn't get a lot of springtime reps.
That makes sense.
So it helps us win. Moving taps you out. Yeah, it does. If I'm poor as fuck, don't have the Matt Rule. It's okay. You just take the name, man. You take what we give you. All right.
Coach Rule, your salary is like $10.5 million. You're not poor.
You're fine. Mackay's lightning fast. I saw it the place he was out there. Yeah, 100%. He has explosive bursts. He's definitely we're going to see more of him for sure. But it was good to see Quentin Ives get out there and rumble and stumble a little bit. I don't think Quentin Ives doesn't have the same quite burst by any stretch, of course, but he's definitely going to be a good kind of like what I thought he would be coming into the season, a good back to get out there and get rolling on some runs in short yardage situations, and he's going to be a big bruising body to wear some defenses down.
Yeah, I want to see him drop his pad level a little bit more. There was a couple times where I thought he could have got a few more yards by dropping his pad level. Yep. But at 6'3", like that's really hard to do. That's a big running back physically.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see him drop his pad level a little bit. But I also, one thing too, I like what Dylan said. He was like, you had to get him like kind of breathing heavy and whatnot to see, get his conditioning up. So
yeah,
like when Mackay didn't play, there was no alarm bells for me going off. Like, oh, why isn't he playing? It's like, well, you have all these running backs who need experience too.
Yep. Yeah. Rashawn, confidence, you can lose it after an injury. This is 100% true. It took me after I ruptured my bicep back years, but it took me almost a year fully to feel the confidence to spar against a high-level person again, to build back because I tore it through on a right hook. So being able to even throw that punch again mentally, like it took me a long time to just get over that mental block. So getting out there, getting those reps in game, especially, is hard. You want those reps in the off season. And so getting out there and trying to get those, real time, it's really, really hard to get out there. So the fact that he was able to go out there and perform the way he did with the confidence level he did was pretty good to see. So Ives has been RB2. People don't remember. Yeah, boy, I've been on Ives since he got here. Let's go.
I was impressed with that one catch he had too, where he kind of had to really stretch out for it. It was like on a little Texas route.
Yeah,
that was a really good catch.
He'll help us win in some games this year. They all will. I think that's the biggest thing we've seen is we need all these running backs because they all do something special. And I think we're starting to see that, like with the combination of with Emmett, with Mekhi, with Ives, with Mosey.
Mosey's kind of changing positions now.
Well, again, Mosey's. I've never really considered Mosey being a set position. Anyways,
like he was the guy I kept saying reminds me of Darius. Was it Darius Slayton at West Virginia?
Yeah,
running back, wide receiver,
Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, that's what he reminds me of.
Yeah,
6 foot, 6'1", 210, can run and catch.
And I feel like it's less about RB 2, 3, and 4, and it's more about situation RBs, or like sorry, whoever's going to step up as pass pro. Can you back up? Come back in.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, started to echo again. What is the strength of the Meat Chickens defense? Their defense is pretty solid. Their defensive line right now, get Brian back in here. The defensive line isn't getting a ton of pressure sacks, so it seems to be the defensive line that is their biggest kind of opportunity. But Wink Martindale, good coach. He was kind of mixing some stuff out there with some of their defensive guys. So probably going to see TJ Guy. I was talking to you about this a little bit more, Brian, but they switched out Jayshawn Barham at the edge for TJ Guy and to get themselves a little bit bigger. But against Nebraska, TJ Guy is going to be out there because they're not going to be wanting to be as big. So we're going to have TJ Guy coming off the edge, which means Jayshawn Barham is probably going to be at linebacker. So their linebacker core is really strong. Their secondary is pretty good. Defensive line, I would say, is their biggest opportunity. So in my breakdown of their defense, that's what I have. So what's the fight forecast for me? I'm looking at early next year now that my fight fell through for this year. So Q1 of 2025 is the goal. So
2026
or 2026. Yeah, whatever. Close enough. Clarifying the fans will cost Michigan 5 yards to keep them from scoring by yelling so loud you could hear them in Arizona. That's here. I'll wave if I hear y'all. Need him this season. Yeah, need them all. No matter if we have Emmett. Yeah, we need him as well. Yeah, we need everybody. Yep, 100%. That backfield is the best we've seen in a while. I think it's the most. It's definitely the most versatile for sure, and I think it will be the best. The young right now, but in terms of talent, yeah, it's a solid room. Isn't Wink Martindale a game show host? Might be that too. Yep, Bone Tic Tac Doe, for instance. You box or MMA? I do boxing. I coach boxing. I've been boxing for about 10 years now, going on 11. I did MMA before. I did jiu-jitsu, Kali. Kali's the stick fighting. I did Muay Thai, combat submission wrestling. I did that in the military though, and I wasn't as big of a fan as the mixed martial arts. I fell in love with boxing though. So, AJ, got an opinion on little feller's boxing. My grand snipe is interested. My grand snipe, I like. I think it's great. I just think make sure you keep them away from hard sparring. But if they get the right coach, the coach is going to protect them. People think jiu-jitsu is better for kids. I disagree. If you talk to anybody who's done jiu-jitsu for an extended period of time, they have all kinds of spinal issues and back issues from rolling around in their neck and their head. Tony Jeffries, who was a 2-time Olympic gold medalist boxer, fought hundreds and hundreds of amateur fights, fought at the pro level at the top of the top. He retired and went to jiu-jitsu, and he was been doing it for about 4 years, and he just had to have a full surgery on his shoulder and neck, and came out with a video talking about it. And in the comments, I saw a bunch of guys who were 40-year instructor. So people think it's easy on the body. It's not, man. Jiu-jitsu is hard on the body. It's hard on the neck, hard on the spine too. So So I do think it's just as long as you just make sure that the brain trauma is limited. I think it's great for them to get in there and learn. And yeah, I think boxing and wrestling to me are the two best martial arts to learn. You learn a little bit of stand up, you learn a little bit of the ground, and those are the two martial arts that have yielded the most success in martial arts. Boxing and wrestling as a base have the two most championships in mixed martial arts UFC history as well. So those two at the top, and it's not even close. So boxing, definitely recommended. It's great. Taekwondo is good too. I just think boxing gets people more prepared for real life scenarios. I think Taekwondo, karate, a lot of that tends to be more of the point fighting type of things. But there's something about just being able to something about throwing kicks in a fight. I don't want my feet leaving. I don't want a single foot leaving the ground in a fight. I don't want any balance off. I don't want my leg being kicked out from under me. So I'm just throwing punches. Boxing is about balance and timing. So yeah. Husker, do it.
Power.
Oh, I was gonna have you. You want a good laugh? No, Nate Diaz called out Tara Crawford. Nate Diaz calls out everybody. Who doesn't Nate Diaz call out? So absolutely Pits Night, man. If you got any more questions, always hit me up, man. All right, Brian. Let's get your. I think I cut you off before I got your full prediction. Let's hear it. How the game goes.
So over the course of the last 55 minutes, I've slowly been persuaded, but I'm still picking Michigan.
Yeah, don't let me fully switch it because I don't want to be the reason you're wrong.
I'm gonna go 27-24.
27-24.
Yeah.
How dare you? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Nebraska 28, Michigan. I'm gonna go 28-24. I almost went 21, but I go 28-24.
Nebraska winning 28-24.
Nebraska wins 28-24. I got confidence in our boys.
Point spread, like, is it like 44 an hour?
I think it was minus. I think it was. Oh, you're talking about the over under. It was actually really low. Right. It was really low at first, but
it got said 45 and a half.
Let me see if it's still there, or if the line's moved at all. So it's between 45 and a half and 46 and a half, depending. Most sports books have it 45 and a half.
Okay, so they're saying it'd be like a 23 because they're favored by 2.5.
2.5 right now.
23-21.
Yep.
Basically. Or 24-21.
24-21. And I got 28-24. Minus 160, minus 140 for Michigan, plus 116 for Nebraska.
This is basically a pick.
I'm taking the over.
I guess that means I'm taking the over too.
Well, it's not a pick 'em because technically Nebraska's at home and typically you get a couple points.
You get 3 for at home.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Well, it depends. The sport's different. It's college.
So 28-24 Nebraska, 27-20. What did I say? 27-24 Michigan.
Yeah, 27-24. And I got 28-24.
Admit it, you're afraid that I've spawned.
Admit it, y'all afraid that I have. Yeah, I am. I actually am. Me and Brian have the same prediction. Never mind me. You got us losing. Come on.
No.
What's wrong with y'all?
Let me be the Debbie Downer in this here, okay, guys? Everyone else pick Nebraska.
Kicking you off my channel. Hogg's going to work that meat chicken D out. The strength of their defense is in their linebackers. Yeah, it's expected to be the D line, but they've been a letdown so far this season. Exactly. Thanks, Buckeyes Battle Cry. I appreciate you coming in with that. Shout out to those guys over there as well. But yes, their linebackers, secondaries, like I said, secondary is pretty good, but their D line has not been what they wanted to. But it's still a lot of talent overall on the defense. That's one thing that we can't forget is that is a talented team no matter what. So, I didn't get my prediction of how the game's going to go down, but I'm gonna say Nebraska comes out early and is down 14-10 at half. No, wait. Yeah, 14-10 at half. And then they come out and they score 14 in the fourth quarter. And then Michigan.
Well, you have Nebraska scoring 28.
Yeah. And so I had I meant 14-10 Nebraska.
Okay.
14-10 Nebraska. And then Michigan's going to take the lead in the third. Nebraska's going to win in the fourth. And we're going to win against a ranked team in the fourth quarter at home.
That's one way to get rid of all your bad.
That's one way to get the monkey off your back
with a late game heroic.
Come on, man. That's the way to do it. You heard
See,
it
I
here
was going
first.
to basically say the opposite of that. We're probably going to blow it in the fourth. I have so much PTSD.
I need somebody to throw another Kenny Bell block / tackle repost. You skipped it. Yeah,
To stay for the end, and it's in our intro and outro video.
Or somebody to lay an Anthony Grant level hit stick on somebody.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I need to pull that clip up because he broke down he took me through that play. I want to bring that back up because I had him on the show. Glad you made it to your new home safely, Bri. Despite the property damage, it's all part of the fun. Hells yeah, Matt. Hey, Matt Rule. Poor Matt Rule. Broke Matt Rule. Appreciate you having in here, sir. That's our new Broke Matt Rule. Shout out to him. Shout out to Broke Matt Rule. You're the man. No, but it was a fun show, guys. No, I appreciate y'all hopping in here. Brian, so never mind me predicted us to win. So you're on your own there, soldier.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
I know you've never wanted to be more wrong in your life. It's okay. Poppy Van Tackle's going to bust out this game. I almost called him Poopy Van Tackle. Well, he better not be poopy because then that means he didn't have a good game. The key to me is, can the Huskers make Bryce look like the freshman that OU did, and will Michigan allow Bryce to run? The answer is yes. They're going to let him run. They're giving him the green light. Yeah. Unfortunately, that Oklahoma game, I just think that was them running the air out of the ball. Oh, this one, that's something that the Diaz brother or Jake Paul would do. How dare I skip it? Yeah. It's funny. My previous coach was Jake Paul's original coach. And my middle name's Paul.
Did you see that comment from Mike about the tush push?
No. Oh, what is your opinion on the tush push? Should it be banned? No. I think depends on if people lining up off sides or not, like the picture said. But I think no.
Cam Jurgens is lined up in the neutral zone.
But if that's the case, then so be it. Like if the thing is, the tush push shouldn't be banned. If they're breaking a rule, throw a penalty for the rule. Don't ban the play. There's two different things.
Yeah, they need to call them for an illegal formation.
Yeah. But like me, I'm not gonna be sour grapes because they run a play that my team can't stop. Like, good for them.
It's a revised QB sneak.
That's all it is. That's good for them. I mean, honestly, like, if my team was doing it, the way I see it, the way I look at these things is like, if my team was doing it, what would I be saying? I'd be saying, don't ban it. You can't stop it. And I'm like, is that a rational argument? Yes. Okay. Well, then why should I be against it? If it was my team, I'd be right there. So I can't be like that.
Can you imagine what it was like in the first game ever when a team threw a forward pass?
That a Crouch jersey. That 100% is an Eric Crouch jersey. My favorite player of all time. I grew up with my guy Eric Crouch. That was my childhood QB growing up. I was a little too young to remember Frost, but I remember Eric Crouch. I was 11 in the 2001 National Championship game. So I love me some Eric Crouch. That is by far my favorite player of all time. I cried after the 2001 National Championship, by the way. My mom yelled at me because I cried. She's like, why are you crying over a game? I'm like, it's not just a game.
I teared up after the Big 12 championship game against Texas.
I watched that in Texas. I was at A school. I just got out of boot camp. And I was at my A school in San Antonio, Texas. And I was at a Buffalo Wild Wings watching that. A lone soldier, Nebraska fan. How do you think I felt after celebrating? How do you think I felt?
And then watching defeat.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I definitely cried. And I think it was like at that moment where I was like, I think I'm in a little too deep with this stuff right now.
I brought my phone after the Michigan loss, the close Michigan loss. That was that one. That was probably the most angry I'd been. Georgia Southern, I was sad, but after that Michigan loss, I'm glad we can reminisce just because we're going to win this game. Please like the live. Buckeyes Battle Cry, appreciate you. Yes, sir. Please like the live because I'm terrible at asking for that. Hashtag me too. Hashtag Matt Rule me too. They claim it's nearly impossible to officiate. Yeah, apparently everything's impossible to officiate because they can't get anything right. They can't get a catch right. Why do we expect them to be able to call the tush push? My daughter called me her sane parent this week. So did I, Justin. I cried after many games when I was younger. Me too. I still cry. The biggest Heisman robbery. Oh, without a doubt. Not even close.
No question.
Also Frazier. Yes.
Tommy Frazier used to work for my dad back in the day, and he promised me he'd take me to dinner when he came to Kansas City for a meeting. He never did.
Man, we're gonna have to follow up with Tommy on that one. I'll reach out to Tommy for you.
Yeah.
Hey,
I want my dinner.
Hey, TF, my boy Brian said you were supposed to take him out to dinner. Pause. Yes, that as well as Eddie George stole that one too. He ate your dinner, Brian. All right, we're going to be here all night talking to the comments. We don't get. That'll do it for us here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Really, really appreciate y'all, man. Fun show as always. We are getting you geared up for the Michigan week. We got videos coming. I might try to get a video with TJ to get a Michigan preview, a little bit with some of the Michigan context as well. Try to get that out on the channel for y'all, as well as maybe some breakdowns of this film here coming up. My favorite all-time is Johnny the Jet Rogers. That's a good one.
Love him.
Man, TJ Lateef looked good. He looked great. Rock on, fellas. All right, everybody, thank you again for tuning in. Brian, do you got anything else before we conclude the show here?
Thursday, I will be doing my first video since moving here. So we'll have a Thursday video. We're going to have Nebraska has a monster recruiting class or recruits coming in for this game this weekend. So we're going to break down all the prospects. You got the number one overall recruit in the entire 2027 class coming in for a visit on Saturday.
Yeah.
Offensive tackle too. Big one.
Right. Nebraska's 2027 class, man. Whew. Shaping up. It's going to shape up pretty nice. Going to be a top 10 class. Let's just put it that way. So
it's already number 3.
Like and share. It is number 3. I did see that. Get some defense recruits. Yeah, Matt, that's your job. All right, let's go. All right.
We have a 5-star safety.
Yeah, true. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. That'll do us for us here again. If you haven't liked stream, drop a like, subscribe if you haven't. And with that being said, we will see y'all. Well, actually, let me remove this comment.
Peace.
With that being said, we will see y'all in the next video. Peace.